Hi everyone, in this video we'll be talking about the Cartesian equation of a circle. We can define a circle by using something like x squared plus ax plus y squared plus by plus c equals 0. So the letters in red there, they just represent any scalar number. So any real number we like, those are our red letters, and x and y are our unknowns, but when we draw our Cartesian plane, remember we have x and y, so we'll just get a circle somewhere on our plane. Might be there. Okay, but it's really tricky for us to be able to just look at this and work out where our circle is and how big our circle is. So that's why it's really important that we can transform this into a form that looks like x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So when we transform our circle to look like this, we've got these two equations. So the one at the top here is the same as the one there. It equals the same thing, so it's equivalent, but we've just put it into a nicer form so that we can work out where our circle is. So if we've got this, we know that we have a circle centered at, and then in brackets, HK with radius R. So let's have a look at an example of this. How can we get from this first nasty equation to this second one that's a little bit nicer? Okay, so what we'll be looking at, we will look at x squared plus 2x plus y squared take, so we'll actually make that negative sign in blue because it's a negative 8 y plus 8 equals 0. So here's our standard form, or here's our expanded form of our circle equation. Okay, so what we want to do is work with this and work out what it looks like if we put it into something that's nicer with those green letters there instead. Okay, to do this, we're going to split this equation up. I'm going to highlight the portions we'll look at. So first we'll look at our x terms, then we'll look at our y terms, and then we'll put it all back together. So we've got our x terms plus our y terms plus 8 equals 0. So let's start by looking at the x terms. For our x terms, we have x squared plus 2x. And we know, using our completing the square that you saw in the previous video, we can straight away write this down as equal to x plus 2 on 2 squared, take away, open brackets, 2 on 2 all squared. So that's equal to x plus 1 squared, take away 1 squared, which is just x plus 1 all squared, take away 1. And we've completed the square for our x terms. So now that we've completed the square for our x terms, we need to look at our y terms. let's have a look back to our equation. Our y terms were y squared, take away 8y. So we have y squared, take away 8y equals, straight away from what we learnt in the previous video, we can say that's y. Now again, it's probably really important that we use a negative sign in blue to indicate this is a negative 8, not just subtract 8. Okay, so we've got y plus negative 8 on 2 all squared minus, open our brackets, negative 8 on 2 all squared. So that's equal to y take 4 squared, take, and then in brackets, negative 4 squared. So that's y take 4 squared, take, now negative 4 all squared is positive 16. So we've got take 16. Okay, so let's highlight these the way that we did in the first equation. Our y we highlighted in blue, and our x we highlighted in yellow. So back to that first equation, we had the x terms plus the y terms plus 8 equals 0. So we want these x terms plus these y terms plus 8 equals 0. That means from our x terms, x plus 1 all squared take 1. X plus 1 all squared take 1 plus y take 4 all squared take 16 plus 8 equals 0. So this is our new equation. We have our x terms, our y terms plus 8 equals 0. So let's rearrange so that we can get all of the numbers here. We'll put them all on the right-hand side to make it really, really easy to read what our circle is. So we've got x plus 1 squared plus y take 4 squared equals, now when we take these numbers across to the right-hand side, we'll just flip the sign. So we've got negative 8 plus 16 plus 1. So x plus 1 squared plus y take 4 squared equals, so we have 16 plus 1 is 17, take away 8 is equal to 9. Let's do one more step. X plus 1 squared plus y take 4 squared equals 3 squared. Okay, so now that we've got this, we can say our standard form was x take h squared plus y take k squared equals r squared. So here, let's match them up. I'll use some highlighting. So, we've got positive 1 is equal to minus h. Minus 4 equals minus k. And I need one more highlighter. Let's choose pink. There we go. R equals 3. So that means that h has to equal negative 1 because negative h was equal to 1. K equals 4. And R equals 3. This means we have a circle centered at negative 1, 4 with radius 3. We could draw this if we liked. Here's our Cartesian plane with our x and our y. Now, centered at -1, 4 means that our x must be -1. This won't be to scale, by the way, so there's our -1. And our y has to be 4. So here's 4, so we must be centered somewhere there. And we have a radius of 3. Okay, so we're going to go, oh, this is going to be really dodgy because I didn't put it to scale. So in this drawing, it sort of looks more like an ellipse. Okay, but it is in fact meant to be a circle. If it was to scale, it would be a circle. So let's have a look if I can draw it to scale. This is better. -1, here's 4, so there's our centre. And we had a radius of 3, so we're going to come down to about 1 down here. So that's 1. And we'll go across to about 2. So hopefully that's 2. And let's see. Oh, it's still really dodgy there. But that's the idea. There's our centre. And it's got a radius of 3. So if you're able to draw just with that label there as well, it doesn't matter how dodgy your circle actually looks, as long as if you've got the right information on the graph, I'm happy. Alright, so that's it for topic 6.